The guys who are actually stable and not insecure are running away from a woman internet and require so much attention that she has to make man-hating videos. Let's check
Being a man hater online has made me a magnet for high value men. There's about 20% of dudes that follow this account and they're all super chill. Like, guys will message me and they're like, I know you're talking to women, but thanks so much for your support. And I also have the best guys in real life. One of my guy friends will literally wake up every day and be like, how can I make your day better? He'll like send me flowers and he's just like the sweetest person on planet Earth. Because real men are not intimidated by women who are just like unapologetic about their standards or call stuff out. In fact, they kind of like that. And it will honestly repel really toxic, insecure guys who can't take any accountability. So if you want to repel narcissists, sociopath ways, literally become a certified man hater. Because you're not actually hating on all men. You're just unapologetically holding your standards high. When you come, gonna want you because they want people that they can manipulate who are like chill and easy. So yeah, this is a little off brand, but shout out to the cool guys that follow this account. And if you're a girly, this is your reminder to be unapologetic about your standards and don't be afraid to be a little bit of a bitch sometimes, because it will literally call in the most high value men. Because when you're already like a walking earth angel and you're so generous and so compassionate, you need a little bit of that fiery bitchiness to repel the psychopaths. So yeah, don't be afraid to, you know, let your toxic man-hating freak flag fly. Okay, love you, bye.
No. As a male feminist, she stole the video idea from me.
Yeah, okay, cool.
That's where she got it.
So my first question is, who's going to tell her? Who's going to tell her? Those guys who are creeping into her DMs, what are they actually? Does anyone know? Are they really guys who like man haters? What's going on? Remember what she said about
nicer to you than a man who hasn't had sex.
Oh, interesting. Hey, Tristan, who I said the number one harasser of women is who? Male feminists. Listen to me, guys. What's going on here is what she's describing. The complete opposite is happening. The guys who are actually stable and not insecure are running away from a woman internet and require so much attention that she has to make man-hating videos. That doesn't make you insecure. I don't want, and it's embarrassing to date someone like that. Yeah. And then the guys who are talking to her, what are they trying to do? They're trying to smash. So what she's done is she's actually attracted the biggest narcissist, the biggest sociopath.
When they think they're like so clever and smart, they're like, no one knows what I'm doing.
Yes,
she's basically like doing the opposite of what she's trying
correct.
to do.
So the point is the theme of the show is horrible dating advice, and we just see it all the time. Why does that go viral though? Because it's what people want to hear. If you say things people want to hear, you'll go viral. Again, that's one of the reasons.
More of those men into
exactly
because they're like, yeah. It's like me.
Yeah,
I really
okay. So I want you to.
How do you think Scott Galloway got on Oprah?
Yeah. So let's do a thought experiment. I'm a guy and I don't give a shit. Like, I have no ego when it comes to this stuff. I just want to bang hot chicks. That's all I want to do, to the point where I'm willing to manipulate, lie, say whatever I want to say. And then this girl goes off and she starts making this content about hating men. In my estimation, I see a chink in the armor. I see a little bit of insecurity. Now I'm going to go and talk to her, be like, hey, I appreciate the stuff you're saying. It's really awesome. Thanks you for doing that. You know what I'm saying? These men are actually trash and super insecure. Let's meet up for coffee. Let's meet up for coffee and discuss it or whatever.
Just because you can.
Exactly.
Just to prove that you could do it.
And so what she doesn't understand is that, like, she has actually who she considers to be insecure because they don't want to be with her are actually secure, well-balanced men. And the men who are talking to her are actually the biggest sociopaths and narcissists you could ever imagine, because they're sitting there tolerating that behavior for one reason: to smash. They are the Justin Baldoni male feminists of the world, who are the biggest harassers of women that are there. And we'll just wait, give her a year or 2 years. She's going to do a video, be like, these men are all trash and they pretend to be your friend.
Didn't one girl like this get cheated on?
Yeah, Wizard Liz. Yeah. Wizard Liz is another great example of terrible dating advice, and then you reap what you sow. Another great example of terrible dating advice was, Andrew Schultz and Akash Singh on Flagrant. They were giving terrible advice to men on what to do, and then it came back to bite them, and they're sitting there trying to cope. That's essentially what happened. Dating advice, that accurate dating advice for men and for women, it comes from experience of people. If you go talk to a dating coach and he can't give you 400 testimonials, just stop listening to him. If you can't get hundreds of testimonials of people swearing that what you do works, stop listening to these guys. I don't know why. I do think Kezia Noble, I think she understands men. I really do think she's a decent dating coach. She's a pretty good dating coach. But for the most part, I listen to a lot of women and they give this advice, and the advice is always what people want to hear. It's always, go, just trust your energy. Would you Why are you dating him? He's a Sagittarius. What's going on? You had a dream that he cheated on you? Girl, you should break up with him. You had a dream about that.
Mercury's in Gatorade.
Mercury's in Gatorade. You should break up.
Because his Capri Sun is his moon sign.
Yes.
I was stealing that.
Exactly.
This terrible advice that people are getting. They say the truth will get around the world, or the lie will get around the world several times before the truth can put its pants on. It's just, I have no way of combating. These people are so much more powerful than me because they're always going to say things you want to hear. And I'm never going to say what you want to hear. I'm going to call you what you all are. You're all hairless murder apes that are the descendants of a broken chain of evolution of people who the only thing that your ancestors all had in common is they lived long enough to fuck each other. That was it. And therefore all the proclivities in your survival are based on that magnet. All your proclivities of your survival are based on that one idea. Yeah, but the problem is that's not what you want to hear. Nobody wants to hear that. You can't deny it. You can't argue with me, but I'm never going to blow up like this. You're never going to see 100,000 likes on a video where I'm like, hey, you guys are all hairless murder apes. It's never going to work. Why? Because it's not what you want to hear.
I believe it.
But it is the truth.
And I bet she has a majority female following, right?
Of course, she said, yeah.
So we all know what's the number one way to market to women. Lie to them.
But like as a woman, I see this and I see monetization. Like I don't actually believe those are her real values and who she is as a person.
Yes, she's lying.
Correct.
Let's do this one.
Correct.
We're with some of
Like,
these influencers. They are lying.
Right.
To them.
But like who believes that they're telling the truth? That's like
A lot of people
and
believe
that's
that.
so
Harper.
sad.
No, Wizard Liz thought that what she was saying was true. She actually thought that finding
That's
a
called
man
mental illness.
Yeah, but like she
Mental
actually
illness.
thought that finding a man who wrote poetry about her was reasonable and rational, and that this guy wasn't gaslighting her at all. And then when he cheated, she was so shocked.
I've had people get a tattoo of me that have never even met me before.
Yeah.
There's
Sounds
not
totally
a lot of
healthy
logic
and secure.
behind physical action. People
I admire that man's security.
Same.
Seriously.
I have people message me on Instagram. They're like, "Do you
Michael,
like my
step
tattoo?"
up.
And it's like my face. And
I'm like the
Awesome.
left hit is
Just
not
long.
exactly even.
Thanks
So
a lot.
People-
No, just
people-
no, I love it.
to
I
the
actually think
max.
it's really cool. I mean, I'm not dating them, but like, I think it's cool.
They
It's
really got a
admirable.
tattoo of you?
I'll show you after.
People will get a
There's
tattoo of
like
me,
4
but
or
it'll
5
be
people that have
guys.
it.
It'll be other guys.
One time I was bartending and a guy came in and he had my name. It said kindly across his arm.
Oh my
he like
God.
pulled his sleeve up
See,
and I
that
was like,
would
no.
That's the
terrify me.
freakiest
No,
thing.
and he
That
was like,
would
yeah.
terrify
I was like, oh
me.
wow.
No. And the bouncer's walking me out. Good night.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like he's being himself. I don't know.
Yeah, in his mind, he's playing this
You know what?
scenario. It's
He-
like she saw me, and I put her name on my, and that's when I knew we were
That's
going to
the
get
legit-
married.
that sounds like-
and have children.
That sounds like- that sounds like
point
trusting
I
your
knew.
instinct.
Not like I'm
Yes.
in love with
Trusting
you.
your
Yeah.
instinct is having good energy and being open and vulnerable.
But
Hey, look,
testimonials are good for that
all about
purpose,
you.
though. Like when you have testimonials and you have people that have like real life experience with these like engagements, it's important because otherwise you look at things like this and you think they're real. They're not real. I look at it and
Yeah.
monetization. That's all I see.
well, I mean, it's monetization, but also I think she's disillusioned because now what she's doing, she's further justifying her man-hating comments. Her man-hating comments come from her own insecurity. I got news for you. Here, you want to know the answers? It's both of our faults. It's evolution's fault. The reason men cheat is not because of men are inherently bad. It's because of testosterone. The reason why women monkey branch from one high status dude to another is not because of that women are evil. It's because it's an evolutionary adaptation to make sure that their children get taken care of. It's just fucking evolution. Just blame Charles Darwin. I'm not blaming women or men. So being a man hater or a woman hater is inherently incorrect because you're attributing blame to the wrong person. That's the whole issue.
It is what it is, what it is. Now, I was going to ask you this,
Yeah.
like that chick, what do you think she would say if she had watched that other video that we just watched where that, was it the third date or the third date run?
Yeah,
She would lie.
Imagine
She has
that.
to lie.
She would say
Imagine that.
it's toxic and it doesn't work. But remember, it can't be both. It can't be both. Do you understand?
It only
It's
works
one or
on
the other.
unhealed
You can't say
women.
someone's an idiot. You can't say George Bush planned 9/11 and he's a bumbling idiot.
Yeah,
He's
your
either one or the
intuition
other.
can't be correct, and he's a narcissist.
Yeah,
they both can't
It's
work.
got to be one or the other. Ladies, if your intuition is better than men's, then why did you all date narcissists? It can't be both. It's got to be one or the other. But the problem is, in this case, it's going to be both. I guarantee if she saw that video, she'd be like, that's toxic. And then she'd be like, I would never fall for something like that. And I'm like, you are falling for it now. You think that these guys are crawling in your DMs actually like you. That's what's crazy.
Yes.
You don't think we would change her perception?
No. She would pay. Maybe she might change her perception because she's in his room and she wants to go along to get along. But I promise you, I have this all the time. I've had this happen to me before where I'll debate a guy, I'll crush him in the debate, and then instead he won't really have any response, and then make a video just trashing me the next day because he did sour grapes. That's essentially what probably would happen. I don't know who this content creator is. I don't want to go after this. But
Here's
what
all the things I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was
Here's what I am
I don't want to give
saying.
her too much of a shout out.
Women who make man-hating content content are not attracting good men. They're
No.
attracting sociopaths.
But isn't
You
it like
just didn't
learnt
realize.
behavior though? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like learnt behavior. So learnt behavior, if you put a woman like that in our
She was around us
space,
for like an extended period of
could you not,
time.
like change her perspective
Maybe.
of that? Like
Yeah.
learnt behavior?
But what if it's her kink? What if that's what she wants? That's like her appeal. Her
What do you mean?
like she wants the toxicity. That's what she thrives on.
But like she can't think that the narcissistic men and all those are really like after her, and she's just turning them down.
Wait, but here's the other thing though. What she's saying about those like nice guys who are, reaching out to her is that she's saying, again, she's not saying the quiet part out loud. She's enjoying their attention,
Yes.
but she would never date any of those
Yeah,
guys.
so again, that one guy who's like, my friend, he goes, what can I do to make your life easier? And like, bro, stop being a simp. Normal, well-adjusted men who have high levels of self-esteem do not chase after man-hating women. I'm sorry, that's just don't.
Because they want women, and to hate a man is not
Exactly.
feminist. It's not
So
feminist.
her initial premise is absurd, and so the rest of her premise collapses under the weight of that. And the reality is, she's actually being gaslit by a bunch of men who probably don't like her at all, or she just made up the whole story and nobody's messaging her.
Yeah.
So let's do the
Well,
story.
Probably the latter.
The reason I was pointing that out is because I was thinking about this too. Like when that chick was talking about the third date run in, and then we went off and said like, oh yeah, that's what. I mean, essentially, it's pre-selection, right?
Essentially, it's the Men of Action program. It's exactly what I teach.
Yes,
Yeah.
but if Mike in Men of Action says that on a video, you're weaponizing it, and you're a son of a bitch and a manipulator. I would never fall for that manipulative game playing. But if the girl says that on whatever
Yeah, it's
Bride
like,
to Be
wow.
podcast or whatever, then oh, what a brilliant idea.